Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the June 20th, 2021 special edition of The Breast There Is, The Breast There Was, and The Breast There Ever Will Be Wrestling podcast. As always, I am your host, Mikey B, WWE, and tonight's pay-per-view event is Hell in a Cell. Ordinarily, Hell in a Cell is, at least in recent years, they've had it taking place in October. So they decided to do a shift in the WWE calendar apparently with this event. Not really sure why, but nevertheless, we do have Hell in a Cell tonight, and it's June. For tonight's event, there are 6 matches listed on the match card. This is the first time in as long as I can remember, that the WWE on the day itself, which is when I typically air my predictions, they actually have the whole match card, and it doesn't say match card in brackets so far or anything like that. So it looks like we have 6 matches locked in. There's no list of any kickoff matches, which starting with this season, I will be including predictions for all matches listed on the WWE website just to give myself more matches to really predict and to judge from. So it broadens that. So anyways, without further ado, let's launch into the 6 matches on the card for Hell in a Cell tonight. The first is between Cesaro and Seth Rollins. These two guys have been feuding for the last few months. Had a solid match at WrestleMania where Cesaro was victorious. I do expect the opposite's going to happen tonight. I'm not sure. It's tough to say if this feud will be carrying forward beyond this month. I think there's a good chance, considering they've had a few months back and forth. And I have a feeling with the result tonight, it's not going to just wrap it up nice and neat. So I think that Seth Rollins will be victorious over Cesaro, and that I would imagine that this feud is still going to keep going for at least another month. And with SummerSlam a few months away, the company generally likes to build their programs and storylines a lot of times gearing towards these big four, and SummerSlam's the first big four of the calendar year after WrestleMania kind of wrap things up. So my guess is this feud won't last all the way to SummerSlam, but I do think it has the power to last a little longer than tonight. So, but regardless, Seth Rollins is my pick to be victorious over Cesaro in the first match. The second match is between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, also 2 other guys who are very familiar with each other and have been for years. In my estimation, 2 of the best in-ring workers in the whole company. These guys are great. They're, I think, a little bit underappreciated. They don't have that many titles to show for their in-ring prowess. But these guys, and it's interesting because right now they're both in the midst of the Intercontinental Championship title hunt, and yet there is no Intercontinental Championship match anywhere to be seen on tonight's match card. So as a result, I think the other people in the Intercontinental belt picture right now, namely champion Apollo Crews, also Big E, and of course we can't forget Apollo Crews's his henchman. He's not I guess in the hunt for it, but he's definitely got Apollo Crews's back. I suspect these guys, there's going to be some involvement with all this. I get the sense this is not going to be a clean victory. But for the sake of my predictions, I always like to give, a solid outright prediction, an outcome for each individual match. So I think in this case, Sami Zayn is going to come away with a bit of a controversial victory here. And like I said, I'm actually fully anticipating there's going to be some outside involvement, outside distraction leading to this result tonight. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, their personal rivalry, I don't think is in any danger of going away anytime soon. Even if they don't continue this next month, they will certainly revisit it in the future. But for tonight's prediction and for tonight's purposes, Sami Zayn, I think, will be victorious over Kevin Owens. Moving on to the third match, it is between Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler. This one to me seems fairly clear cut. I think Alexa Bliss just hyping on her, now that she's been aligned, ever since she's been aligned with the Fiend Bray Wyatt. They've really been running with her character. So I like to say that I think Alexa Bliss is just going to dominate this match and continue her run of, her destructive run, being alongside the Fiend. And I just think there's going to be for sure a lot of trickery, a lot of mind games going on, and who knows, Nia Jax could try and come and help Shayna Baszler, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Alexa Bliss's book of tricks is going to help her lead her to victory tonight. So Alexa Bliss is my pick to be victorious over Shayna Baszler. On to the fourth match of the night. This is the first Hell in a Cell match of the two listed on the pay-per-view show tonight. We have champion, this is for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and it's Bianca Belair, the champion, taking on Bayley. I don't think Bianca Belair is in any danger of losing her belt yet. She, has had a heck of a run so far this year, winning the Royal Rumble and then winning the belt at WrestleMania. The company, I think, rightfully so, is giving her a run and seeing how she does with an extended title reign. I don't know if Bayley and Bianca will continue feuding beyond this time. I could see that happening because Bayley's been a proven, tried and true champion herself for a long time. She has the SmackDown Women's Championship record for longest consecutive title reign, so most consecutive days of a title reign. So I think this is a feud that can definitely carry forward, might even linger until SummerSlam if they develop the storyline properly. But either way, for tonight's match, I think Bianca Belair will be victorious in the Hell in a Cell match, retaining her SmackDown Women's Championship. So Bianca's my pick there. On to the fifth match of the night. It's for the Raw Women's Championship, and we have the champion Rhea Ripley defending against Charlotte Flair. In a somewhat similar situation, I think, with Rhea Ripley, capturing the belt at WrestleMania, much like Bianca Belair did. I don't think it's time yet for the company to change the belt from her to someone else. Especially someone like Charlotte Flair, who's won the belt 13 times already. Just a huge amount of times. So and it makes you also wonder, where does Asuka fit into this whole feud in this picture, or someone like Nikki Cross, who's been involved in storylines lately. I think there's bound to be some distraction going on outside of the ring. Rhea Ripley, I do think, will retain the Raw Women's Championship tonight, but I definitely could see this feud continuing on beyond this match tonight. But Rhea Ripley is my pick to retain the Raw Women's Championship. And now on to the final match of the night, the WWE Championship, and it's our second Hell in a Cell match for the night. We have the WWE Champion Bobby Lashley taking on Drew McIntyre. When they were signing the contract for this match, they made a stipulation that if Drew McIntyre loses, he will not get any further WWE Championship opportunities, presumably against Bobby Lashley. Something else that is kind of swirling in my mind as I think about that particular stipulation is that in many years recently, the WWE, shortly after WrestleMania, did their, they've probably changed the name of it a few times, different iterations, but they've had their superstar shakeup, or a new draft or whatever, just to mix up the rosters. Nothing like that has happened so far this year. And I think that's a very wise and necessary move by the company when they do this, to just develop a lot more new storylines to keep things fresh. Especially when you're a company that runs, 12 months a year, never stopping. having fresh storylines is of utmost importance. So that's a thought that's entering my mind, thinking about the possible outcome of this match, because I wonder if with this stipulation they might do a shake-up soon and send Drew McIntyre to SmackDown or something like that. So as you're probably guessing from the tone of my voice, I'm not super confident that Drew McIntyre will win the belt back. Definitely a great champion, held the belt for most of last year. I do think he will get the belt back. But I just feel like Bobby Lashley having MVP on his side and, winning at any cost necessary, I feel as though they're going to find a way. Bobby Lashley and MVP will find a way to, be victorious in this match and retain the WWE Championship over Drew McIntyre. And and again, the company has not made any announcement of a superstar shakeup or a draft or anything. So if that doesn't wind up happening anytime soon, I still think that this feud will be reignited, even if they're not allowed to. Drew McIntyre's not allowed an opportunity at the WWE Championship soon. I still think this feud will resume again in due time, and not very long. So my pick is Bobby Lashley to retain the WWE Championship, even though this one I'm not extremely confident about because of that added stipulation. But Bobby Lashley is my pick to retain the WWE Championship. So there you have it, folks. Just a quick rundown of of who my predicted winners are for tonight's event. We have Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Bobby Lashley. So there you have it, folks. Thanks very much for listening. Hopefully this pay-per-view is more entertaining than the card itself looks like. I think we're going to get some good performances from Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Seth Rollins. Those guys always put on really great matches. And hopefully there are going to be some surprises in store. You never know. So thanks very much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel below. And we'll see you next time.